Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to another edition of Raider Sports. How are we doing today? I'm dressed in my Saturday best on a Friday because Northwestern is taking on Michigan State tonight, so that's a little Friday night treat for me. But that's not what we're here to talk about. We are here to talk about the Bob Bowlsby Tour. Yes, the Bob Bowlsby Tour is coming to a city near you, so keep an eye out if you're in Provo, Utah, or Orlando, Florida, Cincinnati, Ohio, and currently Houston, Texas, because Bob Bowlsby is coming to you to see if you are worthy of being a Big 12 member. And as we know, the Big 12 has pretty much come out and said that these are the Final Four teams if they're going to be expanding to a four-team alignment. Other teams mentioned here are Boise State, SMU, and Memphis. But the favorites coming out are BYU, UCF, Cincinnati, and Houston. And I already talked about BYU. I already talked about UCF. I briefly touched on Houston being a member. There was a rumor out there that BYU didn't like Cincinnati. That was just pretty much radio talk from what I understood. But I still figured it was worth talking about because it was something interesting. And I hope the Big 12 was watching that UCF Boise State game last night. That was absolutely fantastic. And as a Northwestern fan, I love seeing Isaiah Bowser being the featured back over there. I mean, he got 33 carries. I always said when he was at Northwestern that Fitz is using him wrong, and who am I to question his greatness? But I always felt like in that one instance, I mean, the man at one time led the nation in rushing over a 3-game period and then was barely used. I mean, I never really understood the game plan that used Isaiah Bowser. But him getting 33 carries and being the featured back and really being the star of the game last night was really awesome to see. So Isaiah Bowser, that was just amazing work that you did put in yesterday, and you pretty much carried the team because Dylan Gabriel wasn't exactly sharp, and there was lightning delays and everything else. So it was really a goofy game. But I said I was hoping Boise State would come out and just blow them out, and that's what it looked like. It looked like Boise State was going to come out and blow them out. They jumped all over UCF, 21-0. A 100-yard pick six off of Gabriel. A few, questionable targeting calls. We have to figure out what this targeting thing is because it's so inconsistently called. It's ridiculous, and it actually cost Boise. It actually cost Boise this game because on that final scoring drive for UCF, a targeting call moved it 15 yards, moved them way closer to the end zone than they would have been, and then Isaiah Bowser, scored the final points for touchdown for UCF, making it 36-31 UCF, and then they picked off Boise State at the end there to finally win the game, but still, it was an absolutely amazing game all the way around. Boise State just got away from passing the ball and they started running it. I don't know why they started running it. I'm probably trying to eat the clock out, but in the second half, they pretty much abandoned the pass for the most part, especially on first down, became very one-dimensional and very understanding on how they do things. I don't think they've exactly figured out Andy Avalos's, offensive schemes, and so I think that's a work in progress there. But the bottom line is Boise State blew it, but it was still an amazing comeback by UCF, a great game. And the only thing that could have made that game bigger, in my opinion, is the words Big 12 Conference written on the field there at UCF, and having UCF and Boise State, that would have been big time for the Big 12, and I hope they take at least that into consideration. And I don't know why people just don't like Boise State as much. I really don't. I don't know what it is about them when it comes to realignment. They'll talk to them about the football team, but there's something in that like administration or the setup on what's going on with Boise State that people just don't want. Now, I had this conversation, and in doing some research, I've found out that Boise State was actually looked at by the American, but as a football-only school, and the American pretty much said, leave the rest of your stuff at the door, and, go find homes for that. And Boise State, couldn't find anywhere that fit. And so Boise State, gave up the idea of sending the rest of their sports independent. And so that's why Boise State isn't an American team. So, is it something like that where everybody only wants the Boise State football team and nothing else? Because for me, that wouldn't have even been entertained. That idea would have just been, hey, if you're going to take us on, you're taking on the whole thing, or else, hey, we don't need you. We got the Mountain West. We're perfectly fine there, fine running the show there. But, obviously there's something about this university and this team that nobody really takes seriously. And I don't know what it is. I would want Boise State in place of Houston. I definitely would. I prefer Boise State. It's a bigger brand, and I understand Houston. They got Phi Slamma Jamma and whatever else, especially in basketball, and their little bit of recent football success. But the Big 12 loves the fact that Houston is willing to spend money, and maybe Boise State isn't. I don't know. I don't really know what that is, and it's also, but this all seems to be about marketing. BYU's a brand, UCF's a brand, and they got the Orlando market. Cincinnati has the Cincinnati market. Houston has the fourth largest market. So that's probably what it is. Boise State, that if you take the market out, if you take the market out, Boise State makes sense. If you add the markets in, then yeah, that's why Boise's out. But otherwise than that, I don't know why even places who wouldn't be looking for markets don't include Boise. I don't know. So guys, these are just some, really just random musings that I've had about the games last night and about what's been going on with the Big 12 in general. So I hope you guys like it. I hope you guys watch some of it. All right, guys, go Cats. Jayhawks are probably going to lose tonight to the Coyotes. No, probably not, actually. Just wanted to scare you for a second. All right.